Hey guys, this is lesson 9.8. It is called Solving for a Variable. Now, solving for a variable is the same thing as transforming a formula. You are going to see this word formula. So I want you to copy that down. A formula is a rule that shows the relationship between two or more quantities. So I know a lot of you probably have seen this formula that Albert Einstein discovered the relationship between mass, energy, and the speed of light. The formula E equals mc squared. So E equals mc squared. Now, here's where you'd use this. Notice that this has no numbers in it. It's all letters. So really, you don't know anything. You know that E equals mc squared. But what if I gave you E and C? You would have to try and find what M is. That is the whole purpose of this lesson. We're going to take these little formulas like E equals mc squared and we're going to solve for just M. So we're going to move this whole piece to this side of the equation, and then you can just plug in your two E and C and you'll be able to see exactly what M is. It's kind of a confusing unit. So, you can use the properties of equality to transform a formula. So, what I want you to copy down are these steps right here. Okay, steps. Number 1, look for an addition or subtraction sign and do the opposite of that first. So remember, in an equation, we're always going to look for an addition or subtraction sign. So if you look at this equation right here, area equals length times width. So it's like if we have a rectangle, and this is 10 and this is 8. The area of this is the length times the width, which would be 80. So, do you see an addition or subtraction sign? No. So, that's the first step. Look for an addition or subtraction sign. Then you look for multiplication or division, and you will do the opposite of that operation. So this one has multiplication and division, so I would, if I wanted to find out what L is or what W is, I would divide both sides of the equation by the other letter. Okay, so here is an equation. Perimeter equals twice the length plus twice the width. So if I have my bedroom, let's say, and it's 10 by 12. Well, I want to paint the walls. So that would be the perimeter. So I'm going to add up all my walls. So it would be twice the length, so 2 10s, and twice the width. So it would be 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 12. Now, for this, what if I didn't know my length? Okay, and I knew what the total perimeter was. I know that my perimeter is 30 and my width is 10. You would have to try and find out what L is. So what they're asking you to do is take this equation, P equals 2L plus 2W, and they want you to solve for L. So, first step, draw a line down the equation. Okay? Next step, I want to look for an addition or subtraction sign. So there is an addition sign right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2W from both sides. Now, you're probably asking, why the heck did she subtract 2W from both sides? Well, if I want to get L by itself, that's what they asked for. They asked for just L. I have to get rid of this whole piece. It needs to be gone. So that's why instead of adding 2W, I subtracted 2W, because then it gets rid of it from this whole side of the equation. So now I can't do P minus 2W because they're not like terms, so I cannot combine them. So really, all you have to write is P minus 2W. I just combine these two things and make it into one sentence. And then that equals 2L. So now I'm not quite done. I haven't got just L by itself. So if you remember from solving equations, this is 2 times L. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So now this 2 and this 2 cancel out and I'm left with just L. So if and then I write P minus 2W divided by 2 is my equation. You don't have to really simplify this because you can't do P over 2. You could do 2 over 2, but just leave it like this. This would be the best way to leave it. So L equals the perimeter minus twice the width divided by 2. And notice, the whole thing has to be divided by 2. I don't just divide P by 2 or 2W by 2. I divide the whole side by 2. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. All right, so try this one on your own. So here's the formula. D equals R times T, and I want you to get just T by itself. So try that in your notes. All right, so first I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to look for addition and subtraction. I don't see an addition or subtraction sign, so you don't have to add or subtract anything. So I move to multiplication and division. Well, I see a multiplication sign, and if you don't see it, like here, RT, you assume it. You know that, okay, if they're right next to each other, that means multiplication. So if I want to get just T by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by R. When I put the R on the bottom, an R on the top and an R on the bottom cancel each other out, and I get D over R equals T. And that is my equation. All right, so try one more. My equation was a little bit off. Okay, so solve the formula for finding batting averages in baseball. So it says A equals H over N, and I want you to solve it for H. So A equals H over N. So try this problem, and then we'll go over it. All right, if I want to get H by itself, so I want just H, okay? This is division. So I'm going to draw my line. I can't add or subtract to both sides because I don't have an addition or subtraction sign. This is division. So I am going to multiply. You do the opposite of division, which is multiply, both sides by n. If I multiply by n, it looks like this, n over 1. That means I have an n on the top and an n on the bottom, and I get A times n equals H. All right, that is it for your notes.